Picture this. It's a hot July day in Philadelphia, 1776. Flies are buzzing, wigs are itching, and a bunch of guys in breeches are huddled in a room trying to write something important. This is the scene where the Declaration of Independence gets its start. You'd think it would be all serious and dignified, right? Wrong. There were arguments, compromises, and maybe even some inkwell throwing. They were trying to create a whole new country, which is not as easy as it sounds. Plus, they had to do it without air conditioning or spell check. Somehow, through the heat and the arguments, they managed to pull it off and came up with a document that changed the course of history. Now let's talk about those founding fathers for a minute. We see them on our money, looking all serious and important. But were they always like that? Did they ever let loose, have a beer, maybe tell a bad joke or two? Well, the historical record is a little fuzzy on that one. But I like to think that even the most dignified founding father had a sense of humour. After all, they were human beings just like us. Except, they wore wigs and wrote on parchment with quill pens. Take Benjamin Franklin, for example. He was a scientist, an inventor, a diplomat, and a pretty snappy dresser, if you ask me. He also flew a kite in a thunderstorm, which, let's be honest, is pretty darn cool. And then there's George Washington, the guy who could have been king but decided to be president instead. These were men of action, men of vision, and maybe, just maybe, men who enjoyed a good laugh now and then. They were real people who took a chance on a crazy idea and created something amazing. But how did we go from signing a piece of paper to blowing stuff up in the sky? Good question. Turns out, fireworks and Independence Day go way back. In fact, John Adams, our second president, actually wrote about fireworks being part of the celebration. He envisioned illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore. Fireworks are loud, they're colourful, and let's be honest, they're a little bit dangerous. Kind of like the whole revolution thing when you think about it. Maybe that's why they're such a perfect fit for Independence Day. They symbolise the excitement, the risk, and the sheer audacity of declaring independence from a powerful empire. Plus, they look really cool. So, this 4th of July, as you're watching those rockets' red glare, take a moment to appreciate the history behind the spectacle. Remember that those bursts of light and colour represent the spirit of a nation that dared to dream big and fight for its freedom. Now, I know what you're thinking, Dave. This is all very inspiring and patriotic. But what about the potato salad, and the hot dogs, and the sales on patio furniture? Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the important stuff. Because you know what? That's all part of it too. July 4th is about celebrating everything that makes America, well, America. It's about our traditions, both the ones that make sense, like fireworks, and the ones that don't, like competitive hot dog eating contests. It's about our love of freedom, our entrepreneurial spirit, and our uncanny ability to turn any occasion into a reason to have a barbecue. So, go ahead, indulge in that extra helping of potato salad. Embrace the glorious chaos that is an American Independence Day celebration. Because when it comes to celebrating our nation's birthday, there's no such thing as too much. But let's be honest, being American isn't always about grand gestures and historical reenactments. Sometimes it's about the little things, like the fact that we can complain about the government without getting arrested, or wear mismatched socks to work if we feel like it. These quirks, these freedoms, these slightly odd but endearing aspects of American life are all part of what makes this country so unique. From the bustling streets of New York City to the sun-drenched beaches of California, America is a tapestry woven from countless threads, each one adding its own unique color and texture. So, as you're celebrating Independence Day this year, take a moment to appreciate not just the big picture, but also the small details. But July 4th isn't just about celebrating the past. It's also about looking to the future. It's about remembering the ideals that this country was founded on and striving to live up to them every day. It's about honoring the sacrifices of those who came before us, from the founding fathers to the countless men and women who have served in our armed forces. It's about remembering that freedom isn't free, and that it's up to each and every one of us to protect and preserve it for generations to come. We can be serious and silly, reverent and irreverent, all at the same time. We can acknowledge the weight of history while still enjoying a good hot dog eating contest. So, this July 4th, let's raise a glass. or a can of soda, or a red, white, and blue popsicle, to the United States of America. Let's celebrate our past, embrace our present, and look forward to a brighter future. Of course, being American also means embracing our differences. We're a nation of passionate people, and sometimes those passions lead to, shall we say, lively debates. We argue about politics, religion, sports teams, you name it. We even argue about the best way to grill a hamburger. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, we're all Americans, and that shared identity binds us together, even when we disagree. It's a beautiful, messy, sometimes frustrating, but ultimately hopeful experiment in democracy and diversity, and it's something worth celebrating, even with all its imperfections. July 4th is more than just a day off work, more than just an excuse to blow stuff up and eat too much food. It's a time to reflect on what it means to be an American, to appreciate the freedoms we enjoy, and to remember the sacrifices that made those freedoms possible. It's a day to gather with loved ones, to share stories and laughter, to create new memories. It's a day to be grateful for all that we have, and to remember those who are less fortunate. It's a day to celebrate the past, embrace the present, and look forward to the future. So, as you're enjoying the festivities this July 4th, take a moment to appreciate the true meaning of the holiday. And most importantly, have a blast doing it. From the Atlantic to the Pacific, from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico, Americans will be celebrating their nation's birthday in countless ways. There will be parades and picnics, concerts and cookouts, fireworks displays that light up the night sky from coast to coast. It's a time for communities to come together, for families to reconnect, for strangers to share a smile and a friendly, happy Fourth. It's a time to reflect on the values that unite us as Americans: freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it's a time to remember that, despite our differences, we're all in this together. Let the spirit of July 4th fill you with pride, gratitude, and a renewed sense of hope for the future. Well, folks, that's about all the history and patriotism I can handle for one day. Time to fire up the grill, crack open a cold one, and enjoy the show. Happy birthday, America. You don't look a day over 245. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and share it with your friends and family. Join the conversation and leave a comment below. If you found value in this video, please subscribe for future videos on various topics to stay motivated and inspired.